Hi guys. I tried to put my face on these notes and I don't know, Screencastify is not working today. So you'll have to settle for just listening as I talk through these. I'm sorry we didn't get to them in class, but there's some important information in here that you need to know. First of all, there are two terms that we use interchangeably many times in economics, and those two terms are capitalism and free enterprise. But they actually are two slightly different things. Capitalism refers to private citizens owning the factors of production. So, those land, labor, capital resources that you watched a video about earlier this week, if private citizens own them, we call that system capitalism. If in addition to that you have free markets, then we call that system free enterprise. So capitalism just refers to ownership. Free enterprise adds the idea of free markets. And free enterprise is what we have here in the United States. So, a few characteristics of capitalism. First of all, probably first and foremost, economic freedom is highly valued. So, the belief of people who subscribe to capitalism is that free markets help create more wealth and more opportunity for more people. Voluntary exchange is another idea. This is that idea that buyers and sellers freely engage in transactions. And we will do a little simulation that's an example of that in class on Monday and Tuesday next week. You also have property rights in capitalism. So you can own property. Um, you can prosecute someone for stealing it. You can assert your rights to ownership, unlike in a communist or command system, the government owns everything. There's also a profit motive. So you have an incentive to make money, and you also are competing with other businesses for the dollars of consumers. So that profit motive serves both business owners as well as consumers. And just like anything else in life, there are benefits and costs of capitalism. As you can see that picture at the bottom of the page there, that group of people thinks that capitalism is great. And some of the things that they tend to think are great about capitalism include individual freedoms, having a variety of goods available for consumers, being able to quickly adapt to change. Think about how quickly things changed in the pandemic. People went from never buying masks to now everyone needs to have a mask, and here we are with a variety of things to choose from: fits, prints, fabrics, etc. That is all because our free markets were able to easily adapt to change. Uh, Capitalism also promotes progress, so always coming up with a new, better way of doing things, moving our production possibilities curve always to the right. And then the creation of wealth. Capitalist countries have created more wealth for more people than any other system that's been tried in human history. So, all of those things are really good things about capitalism. There are some costs of capitalism, however, or disadvantages. And as you can see in that photograph at the bottom of the page, we have another group of people that really doesn't like capitalism. A few of the criticisms of capitalism include uneven economic growth. So it's unpredictable when we'll have um, periods of expansion and periods of recession. And there's really nothing that we can do to stop those things in free markets. There are also income and wealth gaps. So you have some people like Jeff Bezos that have billions of dollars, and you have other people that depend on the government for public assistance. And the fact that both of those exist in the same system is one of the criticisms of capitalism. You also have the situation that businesses may try to eliminate their competition. So, in order to make more money, for example, Jeff Bezos created his own shipping company. And so he is working to eliminate costs, eliminate competition so that his business is more profitable. We do have some backstops to help prevent that from happening. Anti-monopoly laws, such as the Sherman Antitrust Act and the Clayton Antitrust Act, preserve competition in markets. And so one of the ways that we fix that issue of businesses looking out for themselves, trying to eliminate competition, is that government regulation will rein businesses in. Now, the government does participate in our economy, even though we're free enterprise. They do have several roles to play in our economy, and the last few slides, we're going to go through those roles. The first role I should say, rather than the roles the government plays, there are three different roles that are played in the economy. I apologize. The first role is that of entrepreneur. So the entrepreneur, if the economy is a car, the entrepreneur is kind of the engine that makes it go. They organize the factors of production, the land, labor, capital. They're seeking a profit, and by doing so, they're creating economic growth. So entrepreneurs, again, like the engine of the economy. Then you have consumers. Consumers are basically driving the car, right? So they're the ones that determine what is produced. The idea of consumer sovereignty is important in a free market economy. This idea that the customer is always right. You may have had a manager say that to you, the customer is always right, and you may have found that that is not your experience. However, the reason that businesses try to cater to consumers, even consumers that are being rude and demanding, is that they want the money that those consumers are willing to pay. So the consumer has the distinction of being the most important person in the economy. The last role in the economy is that of government. And here are the different roles that the government provides. So the first role is the protector. So government keeps consumers safe. They have agencies like the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, that sets limits about clean air and water. They have the FDA, which tests for it's the Food and Drug Administration. They test for this safety of food and prescription drugs. The government also acts as a provider, so they actually provide goods and services for citizens. For example, you are partaking in public education, which is provided by the government, and so that is a service that is provided and paid for by your local government. The government also serves as a regulator, so they're making sure that businesses abide by the law. They're preserving competition in markets, preventing monopolies from occurring, preventing or prosecuting people when they do break laws. And the last thing is that the government is a consumer. They consume scarce resources. They use land, labor, capital when they're acting in their other roles. So without the government, we wouldn't have necessarily an agency to keep us safe. There are goods and services like public education or roads or the military that wouldn't be possible. There would not be a larger entity preserving competition in markets, and we would lose out on the consumption of the government, all of the goods and services that government buys. All right, so that is it for notes as far as American Free Enterprise goes. Do make sure you get those into your notes so that you can use that to help you on your Unit 1 test. We should be taking that test next week, and if you've got any questions in the meantime, just let me know. Have a great day.